completed my watermelon farm tutorial, and a lot of people were asking me about the upgrades, and the upgrades on the totems are very expensive. So if you're trying to make some money in the game, you don't want to go directly towards the watermelon farm. I'm going to show you now a tutorial for a steel farm to make gearboxes. Gearboxes are bought by everyone. They're used for watermelon totem upgrades. So if you eventually want to get to the watermelon farm, the steel farm will help you get there. You can sell the gearboxes to help you buy whatever you need for the watermelon farm. You can just have it to supply your own gearboxes. It's a pretty simple design. It's really repeatable. You can just do it all the way up, but let's get into it real quick. We're going to need our glass. Whatever material you want to make it out of. I like making the platforms out of marble because they stand out really well. You do not have to use tier 2 conveyors. We do, because it's just faster. Faster is just always better if you have your stuff not spawned for as long. So you see I built a little platform here. It's what you need to do is you need to have at least 18 blocks between. You need at least 18 blocks. What I did is 19 blocks to have a center block. So what you do is you come up 9 stairs on each side. If you do make this farm, I suggest not going higher than 9 or 10 floors. It's going to be plenty. Okay. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we do the same on the other side. We're actually building this farm for bacon today. Crystal here, she's my helper. It's always nice to have people that'll help you build, that you can rely on, that you can trust. But I do warn you guys, make sure if you're giving someone builds on your island, you must trust them. If you're trying to hire someone to build for you, in the islands Discord, they actually have a place where you can vouch for people. Like if they've came in and they've built for you, they did what they said they were going to do, you could vouch for them. And on the other hand of that, if someone scams somebody, you can go in there and you can see where they've been scammed before. Okay, so we're just filling this in. This is just your collection area. This is probably the longest part of it, is making your collection area. But the bright side is you only have to do this once. I'm going to have my Discord in the description, so if anyone has any questions, anyone needs some help, you can definitely reach out to me. I'm pretty much always online. Cover this all the way to the top. Okay, then what we actually do down here, because we want it to be a gearbox farm and not just a straight steel farm, we put in 1 randomizer, and we actually put in 2 steel presses. If it would turn correctly. And this steel press, because of the glass blocks right here, we could actually remove these underneath the stairs to bring it in a little tighter, because the longer that you have anything spawned, the more chances there are to despawn. And if you're worried about your island having too many blocks, you can get rid of all of these. You just need the ones that are right here on the side of the stairs, so you could actually just clear it up a little bit. This was basically, you were using these for layout. and just make sure that when you get down here, you completely encompass this. I always have it like this. Give it, you could have it drop straight into the conveyor if you like. I always do it like this because the momentum will shoot it into your randomizer faster. It's just a preference thing. I just find it to be slightly faster, and I love efficiency. Also, if you guys do make this for gearboxes, be warned, you will have to make a copper rod farm as well. You just one of your copper spawns, or even both of them. Just set up a drill to smelter, to copper press. Put a rod mold in there. Make sure you guys are making copper rods, because this will make you the steel plates and bolts that you need. But you still need copper rods for the gearbox itself. Now, if you don't care about the gearbox and you're just here to make steel plates, steel bolts, steel rods, more power to you. People buy those all the time. The best way to get up there, I always use slime blocks. Slime blocks are very easy, very efficient. They're pretty easy to get. Okay, this is the collection area. Make sure we put a plate mold into one, bolt mold into the other, and then we grab our... Oh, here, let's just place this down. Whenever you're working on a platform like this away from your island, it's always nice to have a obby flag, because if you fall off, you just teleport right back up and you don't have to worry about it. Grab our input outputs, and that's going to be where everything funnels into. Most of the time, a lot of people like to put 2 just in case they forget about it, which is very good practice, because you know, sometimes you get busy and you forget about your farm. That way you don't have to worry about losing any of your items. Make sure we fill in all the glass. All the glass on both sides is in. So now we start working on the platform. Like I said, you can make this out of anything you want. I've had people ask me to make it out of colored clay that they like. I've built this farm quite a few times for people. This is usually where I have my helpers help me lay the platforms down. They would come up and just help lay the marble platforms. It's not too hard to do it by yourself. It's just placing a lot of blocks, which doesn't bother a lot of people. And we're going to just show you how to make a couple of these floors. Now, this farm does have 2 sides to it. You're going to have this side right here where I'm building, and the other one right there for maximum efficiency. Once again, we like efficiency. Okay, so your glass is basically going to go all the way up, right? So your steel mills you want to set up, you can set up right here on the edge. I always like to go 1 block away from the edge. That will make it hang over a little on that side, which is fine. You want to make sure it's 1 block away, because your conveyor is going to go there. Now, the reason that you don't just put this steel mill directly against it is because you have to have a glass wall here, because all your upper floors, if you don't have this glass wall, whenever the steel is falling, it's just going to fall onto one of these floors and be wasted. So you always build this glass wall here, and it keeps all of your steel going all the way to the bottom. just run these in here like this. Put your wall up. We always go 3 high. Well, I guess technically we do 4 because you do 4 high right here, and then this is actually where your next floor will start. Just like that. But we'll get to that in a minute. Alright. Finish with the steel wall, or the glass wall rather. And then we'll get to the important stuff. Now, with this layout, you do not need totem upgrades. You do not need anything like that, and it's only 1 smelter per 4 steel mill, so it's extremely efficient. And yes, it does keep it full. What we need to switch to now is our filter conveyors. Alright, we love filter conveyors. They're a little bit more pricey than randomizers, but they let us go in any direction that we need them to. Like, see, we have these right here. We need to get our right conveyors and our left conveyors. And then this one goes right here. Make sure it's facing the correct way. Our right conveyors are going to be turning right here, and then our left conveyors. Once again, I highly suggest tier 2s. If you can't afford it, that's fine. If you can only afford a little bit, make sure you get the tier 2 turns, because Islands has a slight issue where things getting stuck on the tier 1 turns. The tier 2 turns, they speed it up so you never have that issue. Then we have 1 conveyor here. Grab our marble again. And then just a 3 block wide right here, bringing it out. We don't need that anymore. Grab our smelters. Okay. Then we need 2 conveyor belts. We actually took this one too far. So you have it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out. And then let's grab our coal totems. So you need 1 coal totem for the smelter. You place 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. And what this does is the 3 of these will power all 4 steel mills. And the reason you don't just do 1 per mill is because if you do that, there's going to be coal sitting in there just waiting to go in. If you guys have ever ran a farm before, you've run into this issue where it just doesn't use the coal as fast as it produces. And then we run 4 iron into the smelter. Then you come into here and you set up iron to go both directions. Whoops. You set up iron to go both directions, and then you also set coal to go both directions. And that way, any iron and coal coming through here, and you do that with all of your filter conveyors. This also helps if you make it in a not secure area or whatever, and someone wants to come over here and they just drop a random item in here. Instead of being funneled to your farm, it's just going to be spit out the front. And then you don't have to worry. A lot of people will sit here and just remove these blocks. It doesn't really matter too much if you're not going to have anyone up here. But these start working. And then they just start outputting the steel. And then you go to your next side and you do it again. I'm going to show you one more. If you want, you can go back through and you can count to make sure that they're exactly the same. I've built this farm enough times that I can just build it as I'm going, and it'll just match up. This is probably my favorite design for steel farms. Yeah, the materials are a little bit pricey, like the filter conveyors and such, but for a very efficient farm, that's fine. If you want to spend money for the premium, like the tier 2 conveyors and stuff, um, that's a good idea. Whenever you set these up, if you set it up right, these will not line up. That's what you want. You don't want them to line up. So whenever you just pull it in as tight as it'll go, one block away. Then do the exact same thing you did on the other side. Just placing marble, like I said, placing the platforms is probably the longest part of it. It's very simple. It's just a pattern. Patterns are very, very easy. And then once this bottom one is done, it makes the top floors actually even easier. We just run through here, make sure your conveyors are facing the right direction. Get rid of this real quick, grab some glass. One thing I must stress, remember to bring this wall up on the sides. A lot of people forget about that. The walls on the sides, you want to make sure you bring this up as well. That way your steel has nowhere to go but to the steel presses at the bottom. And, if you've ever built in islands with glass, it's really finicky. It's sometimes hard to see. Make sure that you don't place any blocks in here. Whenever I finish at the top, I always look straight down, and you can definitely see if there's any glass placed down here. We're all humans. We all make mistakes, so it's bound to happen. Once again, if you have any questions, you can leave any comments. I try to reply to them as often as possible. Now, you could place these either way right here that you want. It doesn't really matter. Alright, so we're gonna place all of our conveyors down again. Once again, I use tier 2s because it's just easier for me. It's what I prefer. And that lines up with that one right there. Then your block of 3. You need that conveyor right there for the coal totem that goes there. So we just place all of our conveyors back down. Grab the smelter. And this needs to extend 2 blocks because you need 2 conveyors. You need your coal totem at the front of it. Right there, right there, and right there. And then these will start powering the steel mills. Then you come back here. You grab your iron totems. And you just start placing them down. And then make sure each one is operational, because while you're building, you're already making steel. You have steel already getting pumped out. These are filled with coal between the 3. You don't have to upgrade any totems. It's very simple, very straightforward. So what I had said earlier about the top levels being even easier, now whenever you do this, all you have to do is run right here on the edge, match up the layout right below it, and there's Literally zero guesswork to be done. Just run it straight through. Just like that, you have your layout, and it's much easier to place your platform. Um, this is one floor. You can build these up to 10 floors, and you'll be just fine. You see, I'm actually building it on my buddy's island. He has other farms running. He's still building this up to 8 floors, and he's going to be just fine with it. We just teleported off to a little bit, a distance away. So we just built a little platform here. And as you see, we already got steel going in. Already outputting bolts with just one side of one farm done. Alright, so if you guys have any questions, any comments, just leave them in the comments below. I'll try to get to them as often as I can. My Discord's going to be in the description. If you need to ask me any questions, feel free to reach out. And I appreciate everybody stopping by.